Soul Feet Dance Productions founder, Shellyza, I am so genuinely happy that I'm getting you to sit in my chair, and I hear that you have flown in from Calgary to tell me your story and share it with the world.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I am very excited to be here.
I'm so happy that you are. I tell you what really inspires me about your story, because I want to just get right in there.
Yeah, let's go in.
Take me back to kind of that moment when you felt that you needed to start this company. I read it was back in 2012, and it was a moment of real low for you.
Yes.
I want you to go there and tell me, what was that moment of low that actually ended up making you feel that I need to do this, I need to start this company?
So back in 2012, I had been dancing for years, and it had been such a big part of my life, and then just abruptly it all ended. And so I found myself just sitting there for weeks, not feeling like myself. I was so low, and I had this emptiness, and it was such a tough feeling to be that I needed to do something. So Soul Feet Dance had always been kind of a brainchild of mine, or just a dream. It was a dream that I had from when I was just a little girl, that one day I will have a studio, and every time I could do a project in school, I would create the studio and keep growing it, and I would be sitting in class and the quotes would come to me, or the dreams or the curriculum would come to me. And so I was just laying there one night in bed, and I thought to myself, that's it, I'm gonna do this. And so I had Post-it notes and a Sharpie at my bed. And so I turned on my little night light, and I got the Post-it note, and I started writing, and I woke up in the morning, and I was living at home with my parents, and I went downstairs and I said, I'm going to do this. And no one looked at me like I was crazy, and my dad said, you do it. And so I sat there and I took my Post-it notes, and I called some of the kids that I had danced with and some of my amazing team, and I said, let's do this. And so we went to Starbucks, and I had all my Post-it notes, and I placed them on the table, and I said, we're gonna do this. And it was Halloween of 2012, and then January 8th of 2013, we officially launched.
I feel it's a really poignant moment in anyone's life when they realize that everything within their life's journey has brought them to this moment where they truly have to do what their spirit is urging them to do. It's like you become so uncomfortable with yourself and with life and your purpose and everything, because it's almost like the universe is saying, this is why you came here.
Yes.
This is what you're meant to do,
yes.
right? I want to give people some context to your story, just so they understand why I think you're such an inspiring personality, and why you inspire me personally. You were born without one part of your arm. You felt that wasn't something that can get in your way of following where your passion lay, right? Which is in dance.
Yeah.
So tell me, from your earliest memories, when you got into dance, right, what kind of trials and tribulations and challenges do you feel that maybe you may have gone through at that time, especially when kids are kids, right?
Yes. It was tough. I was bullied a lot. School was rough, kids were mean, and no matter what you did, you had your friends, but even then, you would hear things, or people would say things, or you would be treated differently, or they would split you up for gym class and for teams, and you would be standing there hoping and praying someone would pick you, and you'd be the last kid picked, and by default you'd have to go into a group, or the teacher would be like, well, we're putting you into this group, and you could see the faces change and be like, oh gosh, like she's on our team, like, and so it was tough. And so dance was one of those things that my mom really encouraged me to do, and she said, you know, dance, go to class and see what it is. And she always wanted to be a dancer, so I think her motivation to push me was kind of rooted in her own dream. But I never realized that it was probably one of the biggest gifts I would ever get, because being in dance, I was free, and I never knew that that's what I would find. And so I would walk into dance class, and in the beginning I was very conscious and I was very aware, because dance is all about your hands and your fingers and your arms and how you move them, and those lines and that symmetry, and I couldn't create that symmetry. And so I spent a long time practicing in the mirror to make sure I could match and feel up to par with the other girls, but it was the first time that I felt accepted, and it was the first time that no one said anything, and the harder I worked, the more it became okay, and no one said anything. I wasn't bullied, I wasn't teased, and the kids weren't like, oh, she can't do this, or you're not doing this properly. It was just safe. And so I started looking forward to being in that environment and running to dance and being in that space, because the moment those doors closed, nothing else behind me mattered, and it was the first time that I felt free, and it was the first time that I actually found acceptance for myself, and I started growing and learning and actually believing that it was okay to be who you were.
I feel oozing out of you just the passion and the belief that you have in dance as kind of maybe your savior.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
What was it specifically about dance that made you feel liberated and made you feel that I can accept me, or helped you survive, or helped you feel liberated, and perhaps even helped you understand who you are?
Mm-hmm. So for me, I think dance was that because it had that connection of the body, the mind, and the soul. I learned how to really be in tune with my body and to see what I could do and to really believe in myself through dance and through having that movement and almost getting to know myself on a different level and know my body and what I was capable of doing. And I was a very shy child, and I was very quiet and very almost like a wallflower. I would blend in wherever I could, but in dance, I wanted to stand out. I wanted to be bold. I wanted to be alive, and I felt alive. And
that's my girl.
Yes. And so I found my voice, and I found confidence, and I found my self-esteem, and that's why it was my savior, because whoever I am today, it was jolted by that. It was that little push that I needed, and it was that community that rallies around you in that dance world let me know that it was okay. And they became almost like bodyguards without even realizing. You know, someone would say something or make a comment, and before I could even react, I would have this amazing army of women behind me being like, don't, or wait till you see her on stage, or there's nothing that she can't do.
Absolutely. And what did you get to know about yourself, Shellyza?
I got to learn how determined I am, and that I am far more resilient than I ever thought that I would be, and that I'm passionate about dance, but I'm also very driven. And so I learned all these things that I think were probably buried deep inside that I just needed to help come to the surface, and I needed a little bit of a push to get there. And I found that.
I always find, and this is such a cliche, but you know, in my experience, in the experience of humanity, the journey of life, is that you really have to have something that is imperfect to find your perfection.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
And I believe that's what you found. By the way, I do have to say one thing to you, girlfriend. You do know that you're friggin' hot, right? You do know that, right?
Thank you.
Well, if you don't know that, I'm telling you, okay? You're
you.
an absolutely beautiful woman, like physically and also spiritually. I love your energy. I love what you stand for, and I love what your company stands for, because from the ashes of that low place that you were, you were able to develop something that you can share with other people and help them identify their greatness. Absolutely. And you did that with your company. I want you to tell me about that journey with your company. What is the purpose of it?
So really our purpose was, I wanted to give back. I wanted to provide this place where other girls and other children could come and experience what I experienced, where they could find themselves and feel safe and feel accepted and be this place that they could escape to. So initially, when I was sitting there with my Post-it notes, I wanted this place to be every child's dream to go to. I want to go there because I am happy. I can be me and feel accepted no matter what, regardless of what you were battling, whether it was physical, mental, emotional. I wanted this place to be just a safe haven for everyone to come to, and I wanted it to be a place where I could really mesh like my background in social work and take that and marry it with my passion for dancing and create this synergy in this world where we could exist in harmony. And so that was really the motivation, is I wanted to give back because it gave me so much, and I wanted it to be something that children could come and actually feel accepted and loved, and that was my biggest motivation.
And I think with your company and with what your mission and your mandate is really because you experience what it feels like to feel less than, right? Yes. And we all do. We all have those moments in life. It's funny because there's this commercial that I keep seeing on YouTube where it shows that every day over 90% of women, and I hope I've got this statistic right, over 90% of women have a moment when they don't think they're good enough or pretty enough or whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
Absolutely.
Every time I see that, I think to myself, my gosh, a lot of people look at me, right, and they think, Raj, you're like this force to be reckoned with. It's like you've accomplished all these things, but they don't know that I am that statistic. There isn't a moment there isn't a 24-hour period that doesn't go by when I kind of regroup and recollect and think, but am I enough? Have I done enough? Am I good enough? Am I pretty enough? Yeah, we all do, right? We have these moments. And then immediately afterward, I say, damn right I am. I am good enough, I'm pretty enough, I'm smart enough, I'm brave enough. Why? Because I'm following my calling. And that's what you've been doing. And this is what interests me about your company, and I want to tell you what it is that there's this incredible holistic feel. Yes. There's a sense of healing as well as a sense of lifting yourself up, right? And everyone has that. And the reason I wanted to share that commercial that just popped into my head was everyone has a moment every single day when perhaps they feel less than they are. But I feel that's a blessing. I feel that it's good for us to get that moment to remind ourselves that, hang on a minute, I'm not that moment, right? And I feel that your company helps people remind themselves that I'm not that moment. Am I correct when I say that?
That's always been the goal.
Yeah. So how do you accomplish that? What is it that you do? Like, break it down for me. What is the point of difference in your dance company? I know it's like Bollywood fusion, all this like fabulousness. What is it about what you bring to the table here for these kids, for these adults, to experience all of this?
I think it lies in all the small little pieces that come together. And so the biggest part of it is the community. So making our students feel at home. We refer to them as family. And so every time we hashtag something on Instagram or we're sending them an email, it's always the SFDP family or from the Soul Sisters, or it's always about that family aspect and coming home to the studio and feeling welcome there. So whether that's putting their artwork up on the wall or right before Christmas, we got them all to do a little what they love about dance or what they love about being there. And it's beautiful. We have over like 100 strips on the wall of all these little kids and what they love, and coming home and seeing that, coming to the studio and seeing that their thoughts, their feelings, what they feel like when they're there matters, and it's on the wall. But more than that, I think it's this unity that we have with the team that I have, and I'm so blessed to have this army of the most incredible women you could ever think of rallying behind me. But it's that sisterhood and bringing each other up and showing women that you can coexist in harmony and all be successful, but also all be there to motivate and encourage each other and to pull each other up.
Right.
And so we really strive to model that, and then also in allowing them to have opportunities. So perform, come to class, teach with us, co-assist, audition, push yourself to maybe be uncomfortable for a moment, but to see what could happen once you get past being uncomfortable and all the amazing things that you'll discover. And just comfortable pushes, just give it a little try and see how you feel. And at the end of class, that empowerment that they feel or that sense of belonging, I think is not something that you can exactly express, but it's this look that they have on their face or this tale that they have in their eyes, and you can see it as they're walking out, or the way they don't say anything but they'll just come and hug you and they'll walk away. And
you've done
that
your
hug
job.
is worth more than any words that anyone could say.
Absolutely. And it's funny you say that, because in spirituality, the different realms of kind of actualization, the lowest form of communication is the spoken word.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So the fact that they're not speaking means that their moment with you has been a very elevated experience.
Yes.
Tell me how people can actually get involved with what you do, and are you looking at expanding outside of Calgary?
Definitely. The dream would be, we would love to go to Edmonton and see how Soulfeet would do there, but you can get involved with classes. We love volunteers. We have an annual year-end showcase that we do every year, and we showcase the whole year of what the students have worked on. So we do stage, they've got camera lights, they've got their costumes or makeup, we sell tickets to family and friends, and they can come and just be themselves on stage and really show what they've done. So we love volunteers for that. Backstage, and then just come get involved in any way that you want. We do like a women's empowerment Zumba class where just come and just shake everything that you've got and just be free.
I got a lot to shake, darling.
And just come be free. And so, if you're looking for a girls' night out, just a chance to find yourself again, to have a few minutes away, to really discover who you are, you can just come and take a class at the studio, come spend time at the studio, or come volunteer backstage. And spending time with little children is the most infectious gift that you can give yourself, because their happiness and their innocence and their laughter is also such a blessing that it's rejuvenating.
So tell me how people can get involved. what virtually speaking, because obviously physically you're housed there.
Yes.
Do you have a website? Is that, is there any way, is there anything that you post on your website that, people can actually tap into?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we do have a website that people can go to and kind of check out what's happening, but we've got a lot going on Instagram and Facebook. So we post jams of the week, kind of whatever we're grooving to that week, and we say just take a quick Bollywood break and freestyle and dance to that song that we're vibing that week, and send us your video so we know what you're up to and we can see your choreography, and then we'll feature it on our site or feature it on our page. And then we do little snips from class where we take a quick 15-20 second video of what the kids did in class that week and post it so that students can see themselves up there, but also the rest of the world can kind of see what's going, and you can learn some choreography or pick it up from their watching. And so they can definitely get involved.
Absolutely love everything that you stand for.
Thank you.
I want to close by just asking you one thing.
Yes.
What would you say to all those kids? We've all been there. That have a challenge that they just can't seem to be able to get themselves out of, right?
Yeah.
We're older, looking back, we say to ourselves, in retrospect, maybe I may have done this, that, or the other,
Yes.
right? So in retrospect, if you were that girl again,
Yes.
what would you say to her? Because there's many of us out there.
Yeah. I would say don't be so worried about what everyone thinks, that it's going to be okay, and the only limitations that you have are the ones that you place on yourself. And I think that if you have a dream and if you are passionate about something, go, and no matter how difficult the journey is, when you actually get there, it's going to be so worth it, because what you discover will be the most amazing gift that you can give yourself. So set yourself free and fly, because if you stop to listen to what everyone else says, it's going to get to you, and you're as strong as you believe that you are. So believe in yourself, and it's amazing what you can find.
Girlfriend, I'm on that page.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I absolutely adore everything that you stand for.
you.
You're going to tell me so much more of what's going to be going on as you move forward. Come back on, talk to us. Let's let the viewers know what you're up to.
Yes.
Thank you, my love.
Thank you so much.
Hi everyone, this is Open Chess TV with me, Raj Gurn. If you like the chat that you just finished watching, I really hope that you will subscribe to my channel for more intelligent, provocative, relevant conversations with some of your favorite celebrities.